The ambassador was an Undine?
Yep.
I'm afraid their infiltration of the Federation goes much deeper than we realized. Who knows what kind of havoc they could create?
Yeah. Fortunately so. Which is not good. Sorry, Ambassador, we've been betrayed.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
I've received a report there is a Bolian freighter that is overdue arriving at Earth space dock. It may need assistance.
The SS Azura is more than 20 hours overdue for arrival at Earth space dock. May need assistance. Dan Abrupt is an experienced captain and the daughter of a former Starfleet officer. It's not like her to be out of contact. Your orders are to head out to sector space and find the Azura. I've already transmitted the ship's last known coordinates to your con officer. Good luck. Miss Flores, set course for the Azura by way of the Sol system quickly. I will be there momentarily. A job well done. Fleet Admiral Mad Dog aboard the USS RTC to Lieutenant Tlenix. Please respond.
Citizens of the Federation and her allies, it is my honor to introduce the official Starfleet Ships of the Line Museum. This undertaking, made possible by the help of so many of you, is to educate the galaxy at large about the history of some of the greatest ships to serve in Starfleet, and allow you to look at full-sized replicas of the ships, lovingly recreated and restored. Please, take your time and peruse this look back at our history. I know that I, myself, have already spent several days staring in wonder at these pieces of the past, preserved and refined for this day. After one standard Earth Day, the exhibit will move to several museums and galleries around the galaxy. But it will be visible once a year above Earth Space Dock and Deep Space Nine on this most important date.
Space, the final frontier.
Ah, look at the old girl. The most celebrated starship of our time, Constitution-class Enterprise had over 40 years in service to Starfleet. Most of that time, including a celebrated 5-year mission from 2265 to 2270, was under the command of James T. Kirk. Besides our initial mission goals of seeking out new life and new civilizations, the Enterprise assisted many in need throughout the galaxy and defended the Federation from threats such as Khan Noonien Singh. In her final flight, she was commandeered from Starfleet by her most famous captain and crew before being destroyed over the Genesis planet. Captain James T. Kirk, Captain Spock, Commander Leonard McCoy. I think it was Captain Montgomery Scott in the end. Captain Sulu. He got the exception. Wish those people had stopped making all that noise. Commander Uhura. Will she ever get a captain? I don't really know. And Commander Chekhov. As far as I know. These other starships and captains are so very, very loud. Aired from 8th of September 1966 to the 3rd of June 1969. 79 episodes. Without the original series, none of us would be here today. The iconic show aired for just 3 seasons in the late 1960s. Having been saved from cancellation several times by fan campaigns, however, when the show moved to syndication, popularity exploded. Leading to 6 feature films with the original cast. The show has inspired people from all walks of life, including scientists who cite Star Trek as the inspiration for inventions like the cell phone. The Enterprise. Bit bigger than our ship, unfortunately. That's backwards again. Miss Flores, go forwards.
Let's make sure that history never forgets the name. Enterprise.
The 5th ship to bear both the Enterprise name and their iconic 1701 registry. The Enterprise D is an iconic piece of Federation history. Led by the principles of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, this legendary vessel ventured into a galaxy much changed since the original NCC 1701, or 01, had gone on a 5-year mission. During her time among the stars, the Enterprise D was present, a part of many major historical events, including the first encounters with the Q Continuum and the Borg. Yes, Q. Heard of them. And the Borg, from my own quadrant. Without the dedication of a brave crew, many more lives would likely have been lost in these incidents. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Captain William Riker in the end, Commander Beverly Crusher, Captain, as far as I'm aware, Commander Worf, Commander Data, Captain LaForge, we met only last week, Commander Troy, Wesley Crusher. We don't really know where he went to after he went off with the Traveller. Dr. Catherine Pulaski? Can't remember if she died or not. And Lieutenant Tasha Yar. She could have gone on for great things. If she hadn't been hit by Argus, I think it was. Star Trek The Next Generation aired from 20th of September 1987 to 23rd of May 1994. 176 episodes. If the original series is the point from which all Star Trek originates, The Next Generation was the franchise's first great test. While the movies with the cast of the original series were popular in cinemas, the idea of creating a sequel to the show with all new characters was a bold one that could have fallen flat on its face. Thankfully, Gene Roddenberry chose an excellent cast and an amazing group of writers to carry on his legacy. Because of the success of The Next Generation, Star Trek lives on. And that ship is bigger than ours, people. How the hell can we be the same size as Defiant? I don't understand that one. Well, near enough.
We are explorers. We explore our lives, day by day. And we explore the galaxy, trying to expand the boundaries of our knowledge. And that is why I am here. Not to conquer you with weapons or with ideas, but to coexist and learn.
Yes, Captain Benjamin Sisko, in charge of the first cloaking Federation starship. If my history serves me right. The Defiant class project was begun in 2366 as a response to the increased Borg threat to the Federation. This tough little ship was Starfleet's first real attempt at a warship, with almost no scientific equipment on board. Ultimately, she did not pass her trials, and the project was put on hold until Commander Benjamin Sisko, a member of the Defiant team, asked for her to be assigned to Deep Space Nine to hold off the threat of Dominion. From there, she served with distinction in the Dominion War, and remained in service until her destruction in 2375. The USS Sao Paulo was assigned to Deep Space Nine and renamed the Defiant in her honor. Captain Benjamin Sisko, Commander Jadzia Dax. She never got any higher than that. Lieutenant Esri Dax, I think it was. Commander Worf, Dr. Julian Bashir. He went on for great things. I think it. Chief O'Brien went on to be a commander, I think. Liaison Officer Kira Nerys became a captain, I think, in Federation. Captain Nog. Oh, I haven't met him yet. Constable Odo. Quark, the barkeep at Deep Space Nine, if I remember rightly. And Jake Sisko. Captain Sisko's son. Star Trek Deep Space Nine aired from 3rd of January 1993 to 2nd of June 1999. 973 episodes. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is one of the most beloved series in Star Trek's history, and with good reason, introducing some of Trek's most memorable characters and a deeper, more nuanced look at Federation society. DS9 told some unforgettable stories. The impact of its serialized style can be felt today in modern Star Trek television. And yet apparently my Oberth, well, our Oberth, is about the same size as the Defiant. Tricky. Ah, the USS Voyager Intrepid class. I could have chose this over the Oberth, but I didn't want to. I might try and get the ablative armor for it, though. I don't know. Maybe.
In a region where shifting allegiances are commonplace, we have to have something stable to rely on. And we do. The principles and ideals of the Federation.
Yes, the ship that found my species, the Talaxians. Yes. I heard stories of this ship, this crew, fabled for getting into more trouble than they were worth. USS Voyager holds the distinction of the starship that explored the most unknown space during the course of her voyage. Although this was not her intended mission. During a mission to secure the Maquis terrorists on board the Valjean, the ship encountered a being known as the Caretaker and was thrust 70,000 light years into Delta Quadrant, which they met my race for the first time, Talaxian. For 7 years, under the more than capable commander Catherine Janeway, the crew searched for a way to return to the Alpha Quadrant and their loved ones. Finally, succeeding in 2378, the scientific and anthropological data brought back from our voyage was instrumental to the Federation's understanding of the varied species and locales of the Delta Quadrant. Knowledge that is still referenced to this day, yes. That data was referenced when I came to the Alpha Quadrant. Captain Catherine Janeway, notable commanding officer. One thing they didn't put there was this was the first starship that was actually able to land on planets. I remember hearing that in my history reports. Commander Tuvok. Was that Captain Tuvok? Commander Chakotay. Captain Kim. Don't think... Did Tom Paris ever get past lieutenant? I don't know. 7 of 9. Heard she was a bit of a raconteur, I think they call it, in her later years. Lieutenant Commander B'Elanna Torres, I think did she get the commander? I'm not sure. The Doctor. He's still running around the galaxy. Last I heard, he might be in the Delta Quadrant somewhere. Ah, Neelix, my forebear. What was my family's line somewhere? I can't remember where in the history books. And Kez. And Ocampan, if I remember rightly. Very telekinetic and telepathic, with great possibilities in her future. But she moved on, if I remember rightly, from this manner of space. Aired from 16th of January 1995 to 23rd of May 2001, 168 episodes. Star Trek Voyager was the first and still only Star Trek television show to star a female Starfleet captain. Ah, that's wrong now. I've heard of Captain Georgiou. Huh. Who captained the Discovery? I think that was her name. Don't really know much about it. I mean, I've heard a few episodes of it, but not really much. During its 7-year run, it returned to the original Star Trek model of exploring a completely unknown part of space. The show is also notable for its deeper dive into one of Star Trek's iconic enemies. The Borg provided new layers and details to that terrifying alien race. Yes.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
The USS Enterprise E, as we all know her as. After the destruction of the Enterprise D in 2371, the Sovereign-class vessel was rechristened in her honour and launched as the Enterprise E. The crew of the previous Enterprise was transferred over mostly intact and continued to serve under the command of Jean-Luc Picard. Sleeker and arguably more powerful than her predecessor, the Enterprise E served with distinction in several major Starfleet crises, including the Borg invasion of Earth's past, conflict with the Sona, and the battle with the Romulan Shinzon. Yes. I've heard those telemetry files. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Captain William Riker, Commander Beverly Crusher, Commander Worf, who returned from Deep Space Nine, if I remember my history right, Commander Data, Captain LaForge, and Commander Deanna Troi. First Contact, Insurrection, Nemesis. All good films, I thought. The crew of Star Trek The Next Generation became the second Starfleet crew to receive their own series of movies, beginning with Star Trek Generations in 1994. The Enterprise E is the first ship in Trek to replace her predecessor with a completely new class. The Next Generation movies are a legacy of the impact Picard and his crew had on pop culture. Really?
Your father was captain of a starship for 12 minutes.
He saved 800 lives, including your mother's and yours.
I dare you to do better.
I do believe that was the voice of Captain Christopher Pike, formerly Admiral, but an alternate timeline, as we know it, the Kelvin timeline. The ship you are viewing is a replica of a ship from an alternate universe. During the destruction of Romulus Ambassador Spock and a Romulan terrorist known as Nero were pulled into a black hole and transferred back in time to 2233. Nero's ship, the Narada, engaged with the USS Kelvin, creating a branching timeline that resulted in many changes from the history we know. Knowledge of this universe, including this alternate version of the historic Enterprise, was gained during the Sphere Builder incident in 2410. I've heard those rumours. Still don't know anything about them. Captain James T. Kirk? Didn't they call him Tiberius in this? In that universe? Ambassador Spock. Leonard McCoy. Commander. I think he was up at Commander status there, one. Commander Scott. Lieutenant Sulu. Lieutenant Nyota Uhura. Ensign Chekhov. And 0718. He was the android from that timeline, I think. Not unlike Commander Data. Slightly different though. I see they've gone with a predecessor of our ship's style there with the old nacelles. 2009, Into Darkness and Beyond. The Kelvin timeline films were an alternate retelling of the history of the classic original series. In order to retell the story with a modern sensibility, the decision was made to set the films in an alternate universe. A brilliant decision that allowed new actors, sets and stories while still continuing to original Star Trek continuity. A young cast took over the classic roles from the original series and played them to perfection. They were good. They were good from what I've heard.
We'll find a way through this. But I won't leave anyone behind. Not if I can help it. I can't try to save humanity without holding on to what makes me human.
Admiral Archer. A name we all know from history. In 2151, before the Federation had even been formed, the first Starfleet ship to bear the name Enterprise was launched. She was the first ship capable of going warp 5, hugely forward. Technologically, this experimental new ship was meant to be on a test run until an encounter with a Klingon changed everything. Under the command of Jonathan Archer, she served with distinction until 2161, when she was retired with full honours. During her historic voyage in the stars, she was instrumental in protecting humanity from many threats, including the Xindi weapon. Yes, she was. Admiral Jonathan Archer, Sub-Commander Tyrol, I'm guessing she made Commander. Commander Charles Tucker III, I heard rumours that he died. Lieutenant Malcolm Reed, not sure whether he got any further. Ensign Travis Mayweather, did he go up the ranks anymore? I don't know. Ensign Sato. And Dr. Phlox. Aired from 26th of September to 2001 to the 13th of May 2005. 97 episodes. The last show to carry the Star Trek banner for 12 years. Enterprise told the story of one of the least explored areas in Star Trek history, the time before the founding of the Federation. This low-tech character-focused take on Star Trek boldly went into the future of television. Refusing to let the torch burn out, it is remembered for its excellent take on classic Trek stories and for its depiction of events that led to the formation of the United Federation of Planets. And to be honest, I actually liked it. All the historical documents.
The only way to defeat fear is to tell it no. No. We will not take shortcuts on the path to righteousness. No. We will not break the rules that protect us from our basest instincts. No. We will not allow desperation to destroy moral authority.
USS Discovery. I don't know what to think about this ship and the historical documents. with her exploits only recently rediscovered after years of the highest classification. The USS Discovery is an important part of Federation history that we are only just learning about. It was discovered that one of her captains, Gabriel Lorca, had been replaced by his counterpart from the Mirror Universe during the Prize World incident. After his removal from command, the Discovery was instrumental in ending the First Federation Klingon War, and in stopping the threat of the rogue AI known as Control. The ship then disappeared into the far future, where all of her recorded history has been lost, or rather hasn't happened yet. Captain Gabriel Lorca, Commander Saru, Lieutenant Burnham, Commander Stamets, I think it was, Ellen Landry, Ash Tyler, Hugh Culber, Sylvia Tilly, Ariam, Jet Reno, Captain Philippa Georgiou, as I remember her, Captain Christopher Pike, and Commander Spock. Airing 24th of September 2017, 29 episodes as of this writing. Series 4 apparently. I don't know. I've only watched half of season 1. Discovery is a triumphant return of Star Trek to television after 12 long years. The first show to star a character who was not the ship's captain. Discovery set out to begin a bold new era in Trek storytelling with serialized continuing stories. The show tells the story of the Federation history, including the First War with the Klingons, and is continuing on today, telling the story of the future in the far, far future. I don't think I like the design of her though. She's too pointy. I mean, she's too pointy. She looks like she's gonna run into something at an oblique angle. Maybe it's just me. It just doesn't have the look that the old TMP ships had, like we are in charge of right now. Maybe I'm just biased. I don't know.
Wherever our mission takes us, we'll try to have a little fun along the way too, huh? Make a little noise, ruffle a few feathers.
Don't really know about this Enterprise. I mean, it just doesn't have that look to her. This replica is an example of design iteration on one of the most famous of starships. While the Enterprise's most famous appearance is seen earlier in the museum, this is an example of what the ship looked like in 2257, under the command of Christopher Pike. While James D. Kirk may cast the longest shadow in Starfleet, Pike was a kind and deeply effective captain who led the Enterprise to explore many strange new worlds. It is interesting to see the differences between this vessel and Kirk's Enterprise, and an encouragement to all Starfleet officers to always be thinking of the future and how to improve on past designs. So, this was her look before Captain Kirk, formerly Admiral Kirk, took her on. Interesting. Captain Christopher Pike, Una, aka number 1, that was her name, Una, Commander Spock, and Nan? I don't know. This is the version of the USS Enterprise that appeared in Star Trek Discovery. While she is the same ship that appeared in the original series, she has been recreated with a modern design sensibility and current graphical technology. While she has a distinct sleek look, she still has the same profile that made us all fall in love with Kirk's Enterprise to begin with. We'll see more of this starship when the new show Star Trek Strange New Worlds premieres. Wasn't there a game called that? I swear I've got the disc here somewhere.
Theirs not to make reply, theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600.
The flagship of Starfleet, the Enterprise F, has served during some of the most tumultuous years in Federation history. Isn't this an Odyssey class? or a variant of it. I swear it is. From the war with the Klingon Empire to the catastrophic battles of the Iconian War, the conflict with the Zenketi and the Herc, and the current troubles in the Klingon Empire, it's hard to believe this ship has only been in service for 2 years. 2 years? In 2409 she launched under the command of Vakel Shon, Captain, and has been keeping us safe ever since. We at this museum hope that as long as there is a Federation, there will be a ship to bear the Enterprise name. Captain Vakel Shon, Samuel Winters, Jarell Cav, Tem Inazi, Saville, Philippa Matthias, Kiona Kiriyoshi O'Brien. Chief Engineer. And O'Brien must be an engineer, and it must be an engineer on the Enterprise. Launched 2nd of February 2010, 185 episodes as of this writing. We hope you've enjoyed visiting the Star Trek Museum for helping us celebrate more than 50 years of the franchise. We live in one of the greatest eras of Trek, with more shows, comics, novels and video games coming every day. It's been an honour to keep that fire burning in Star Trek Online. Thank you for spending the time with us, and here's to many more years of the Final Frontier. Well, I do believe that Admiral Mad Dog wants to speak to us. I've been keeping him on hold for the past half an hour. We'd better put him on the screen. Miss Flores, do the honours. Well done, my young protege. Thank you very much, Admiral. I'm being promoted to Lieutenant. Do you know anything about Captain Gomez?
Yes, I know. I heard about Captain Gomez. She was another one of my proteges back in the day.
Well, can you give her my and the crew's love for us, please?
I do hope she goes on. I will keep in touch with her for you, and you can contact her anytime you want.
Will do, Admiral.
But don't forget, we are always here.
Well, of course you are, Admiral. Always around somewhere.
Yes, you will learn a lot more as you go along.
All part of the game.
But don't panic.
Panic? I don't panic. Flores, did you ever say I panicked?
The more you panic, the more things go wrong.
Well, wrong can be in my nature all the time, but right can be just as good.
But that's the thing, you see.
Uh-oh, here comes the speech. It's going to be a long one.
You just have to try and figure it out for yourself.
Yes, Admiral, I'll try. Don't worry. Don't panic.
Just never give up. Never surrender.
Where have I heard that before?
And don't forget to scan those bloody nodes. They help you in the long run. And maybe, just maybe, you might get a big ship like this.
You mean like Odyssey, sir? She's a big ship, I'll give her that. But the salvage is just as good.
And don't forget to go and see the museum.
Done. And will you be there?
Yes, of course I'll be there.
We'll keep a sensor out then.
Odyssey will be in orbit until next week at least.
I'm guessing for refit currently then. Because we might need that soon.
Please take care of your crew. You'll have new members anytime at certain points in the future.
Well, crew is what we really need. Yes. Of course it is.
Yes. Don't forget, if you need to upgrade anything, please come and ask me. I will fabricate anything I can for you. Anything that's within reason, I mean.
Oh, I was going to ask for Tula Berry wine.
Complaining that your fleet admiral here does not do anything.
Well, you've always been kind to me, sir. on, I thank you.
Yes, yes, now be off with you. Be off with you.
Yes, Admiral, and thank you very much. Flores, end transmission.
Das, take us out for a quick run around the solar system. Das? Typical. The one time I need Das, and she's not here. Odyssey out.